Alright, it is 9:17 a.m. It is March the 18th, 21, and I think today's going to be the first day that I'm not even going to look at the top percent gainers on Finviz, because the Nasdaqs, they just get sold off. They're very choppy, very jumpy, very intricate. Nothing simple. Maybe I'm just looking at the wrong Nasdaq runners. I probably am, but I'm not going to look at the percent gainers. I do have some on the other screen that I always just have a small watch on to see if they break like a multi-day channel and break out to new highs. But other than that, I'm just not going to look at listed stocks today. There might be a SPI out there today. It doesn't matter. I'm going to focus primarily on OTCs. A lot of these I'm looking at the market open for a number 5 setup, or maybe now start working on finding ones that are doing some kind of a breakout too over the previous high or the previous day or week or something like that. So that requires attention at the market open, and I'd rather put that on these OTCs and these choppy Nasdaq stocks. ZCMD was yesterday's Nasdaq stock. I'll be honest, it did do a nice breakout here, 930. Broke the previous high, but this one had some very sketchy trading the other day, and it did go from 340 to 4, but I'm going to stick with OTCs. During this time, a lot of OTCs are going to be they're going to be doing their setup if it's going to happen, and I'd rather do that than this Nasdaq stock that had this spike here and it just sold off the rest of the day. So I'm not going to look at Nasdaq stocks. I'm going to look at listed stock. I'm going to look at OTC stocks. So this is where I am right now. IMTL could be a potential breakout over this 14 level from back here, as well as here. Maybe it'll be more significant further away. Yeah, 14 is a very important level that it could try to break out of. Doesn't have to. NPRI is another one. This one is just a good chart for a number 5 setup, I believe, if you ask me. This is like maybe number 3 in the penny stocking framework, so that one's nice. And AAVB, I'm just gonna watch this for an if it does another number 5 setup. This one's doing a nice run up, so I'll look forward to that. And this is where I'm at. This is where I'm at right now. I will be trading larger if there is a number 5 setup, whether it works out or not. I'll trade larger just because I think I'm doing better. Not that much larger, just a little. I'll still be trading very small position sizes on any other setups, like maybe $500. But with number 5s, I think I can trade larger just because I seem to be doing better at it. Alright, it is 9:40 a.m. I just finished getting out of this number 5 setup. Quite frankly, I just didn't get my position completely filled, and I think the issue is that once I saw that I had a partial position, I went ahead and wanted to sell immediately just because I didn't like that I was in like a half position. I wasn't too happy with it. Also, the price action looks very nice now, but when I was there, it didn't look nice. There was a lot of people on the ask. We didn't have a 4 million share bidder here, so this guy is definitely pushing this up. I missed this, but I don't feel too bad again, because at this time I didn't have this big bidder here, and I was just too busy trying to get out. So I went ahead and got a partial position. When I had my partial position, I went ahead and wanted to sell that. I canceled the order, the buy order, and I sold those shares, and then I found out I actually had even more shares. It must have updated after I canceled it or something like that. So once that came into place, I went ahead and placed another order to sell those remaining shares, and it looks like I made just a small amount. I made what, 5, 7, 15, and then I made like $3. Now it's at 13.5, and I sold. Well, my partial fill was at 121 right here. It was likely this exact candle right here at 30. It was this one right here, 39, 121, the very bottom of this candle. And then I went ahead and immediately started selling. Oh no, actually, yeah, my buy was in this candle, and I started selling in this candle. It didn't look too good at the time, but now that we had those big bidders, which I haven't paid attention, I don't know where they are now, but as you can see, I pushed it up to 13. So really just wasn't at my best because I had a partial position there, but I don't feel too bad. I think I traded it pretty well, regardless of that. So I'll be continuing this, and there was a lot of nice number 5 setups that I missed. This was just one of the many that did a number 5 setup. I still sold for a profit, but I could have done just a little better. Although at the time, again, when I was going through this, we didn't have these big bidders here on the bid. It was just a lot of people on the ask, so that was pretty scary. And it looks like I sold at I bought at 121 right here, and then the next candles, you can tell the very bottom of the next candle, I sold at 121. I guess slightly higher than where I bought, maybe just a little, and then I sold the rest at 122. So it was a very small percent gain, if anything. I guess we'll look at this one. It looks like a 0.83%, 1.67%, and then this one was a negative 0.81%. So yeah, just wasn't able to get my complete position. It was all in pieces. Didn't like that, but that's totally fine. I'm just gonna see how much like the position size was. 51.5 plus 10 plus 37. This is the one that I figured out that I had later. It was a 99,000 share position, and let's just give it an average of 121 times. Yeah, that was a $1,100 position. Just again, just was filled in pieces. Didn't really like that. Kind of threw me off a little bit there, because even though you might get the rest of the shares filled in, maybe it gets filled in because it drops significantly at that original level, and that's not a good thing. So could have traded it a little better, sure, but I think I did well for what I was given. Again, there wasn't a big bidders on the bid anymore. When I bought, there was, but once they left, it was kind of sketchy. Went from 121 to 13 pretty easily without a red candle until we got to this one. There were other ones. AABB, this is the one I was most interested in. I didn't buy this one because it's dropped a little bit, just dropped a little bit from 38 to 35. My guess is that a lot of people are seeing this common pattern happen again and again, so it's not dropping that much anymore. People are just buying it as soon as it opens. If it drops, that's even better, a better price, and people are just buying it up so it doesn't work. FORW, I was also interested in it. It seemed like I missed it, and it was kind of trading all weird, so I didn't do it. The NZC did one, but this one was way too fast. I missed out on this one. It was just too fast. And RPI also I missed. It just was too fast, if you ask me. IMTL, this one was much cleaner. I just missed this one too. And MDMP, I would have maybe traded this one. But the problem is that it was also fast, but when the thing is there showing all the negative percent gainers like this in order, they were like jumping back and forth. So I actually tried clicking on this one a bunch of times, but it just kept jumping around with other ones. So I guess it was just not my time to trade that one. So yeah, AABB is making a nice run. I was interested in IMTL doing a breakout instead of have this drop instead. Yeah, and NRPI, I wanted this for a number 5 as well. I did one, but it's kind of weird looking. So this is where I'm at right now. Let me see again what stock it was. I actually forgot. I don't want to log out. Yeah, I traded IMTL. I thought of it being a breakout over this 14 level. It could still do it, but Instead I did like a number 5 setup, could have traded it a little better. My entry wasn't bad at all, because this is when the level 2 was looking much nicer. I'm not just gonna try buying the very bottom. What if this was the very bottom and then we just have a lower, lower price on the day? So kind of bought right here. Once the level 2 was looking nicer, partial position, all of that stuff threw me off. Immediately got out of my position. It did go to 13, but I could have definitely done better. I'll just keep looking now for more setups. But in the meantime, this is where I'm at right now. Alright, it's 10:08. I just got out of another trade. I sold, right? My 40,000 shares, you can see, are right there. As soon as I sold, we had the big bidders pop up on the bid. That's unfortunate. Again, I'm not gonna take the risk and be like, oh man, I hope the big bidders are gonna show up, right? And it doesn't happen. There was a big 500k guy who got wiped out on the ask, and we had some people here on the bid. That is some unfortunate. Less people on the bid. Oh, there was that. Oh, I guess he's back there. But yeah, oh, now it's a 3 million seller. Alright, that is crazy. We have this big spike, but we have this 3 million seller guy on the ask. This is very interesting. Anyway, I just bought at 134, I believe, because this was like a quick drop, holding support over this 13.5-ish level, not perfectly. So I went ahead and took a buy, and then I didn't like the price. Excuse me, I didn't like the price action. Didn't like the 500k seller on the ask. Of course, when I bought, it was looking nice, but then it didn't look nice, right? We got a 3 million share bidder now at that bid. Let's see if that does anything. It's literally going to be a level 2 war, and I would probably consider getting out if we don't see any immediate action on the good side. But anyway, yeah, so, and then once it changed, the level 2 bid was very weak compared to the ask, and there was a lot of dumping on the bid that I was just like, I'm gonna get out, and I just got out. But it seems like the next candle, or the next few seconds, we had these two, well, not these two, but we have big bidders show up, as you saw in the beginning of the recording, and that kind of pushed it out to the 14s here. But that 3 million share seller is still there. We still have one on the bid, but we have another guy too. It's a pretty nice war. The level 2 here is very thick, but somebody could unleash a lot of sells and knock some of that down. I don't know. I wonder if I probably made something. Yeah, that was a small $6 gain. It just it worked out eventually. I was actually too busy doing my screenshots for my trades, but I had to trade this because it was that nice. Just a quick dip to this. You never see this work on NASDAQs. Whenever I do this on NASDAQs, it always just consolidates and breaks the level. This actually works on OTCs, and I like that a lot. Still a lot of people pushing it up, but I would probably be out at some point already had I managed to hold just a little longer for those two people to show up on the bid. But that's just speculation. That's just a little degenerate, like, oh come on, where's the big bidders? I'll gladly just sell if it didn't work out when I happen to be there. And that 3 million share seller is still there. So and it did work. I guess it went from 13 to 14. That's my second trade. Traded a small position size because it's not my number 5 setup. So yeah, I'm gonna keep working on the screenshots, but this was another trade on IMTL. Alright, it is 11:04 a.m. I'm gonna call off for the rest of the day. Yeah, IMTL, I think the dip buy I made was right here, and I sold immediately afterward. It did work out, go to 14, and then it dipped, put up a higher low, actually tried again. This is so nice because I've seen these a lot of times on listed stocks, but they never work out, and this one is actually working out. So this is great. More reason to consider OTCs over listed stocks, and yeah, today's the first day I didn't even look at listed stocks. What listed stocks were up on a day, it doesn't matter. Very nice movements here. Eventually failed, it got sold off, but this was a nice setup. It actually worked. Kind of like the one I missed yesterday, although the one I missed yesterday was a bit better because it was up a ridiculous like 300% compared to this one. AABB didn't drop very much, and I'm going to assume, like I said previously, it's because people are noticing the number 5 pattern with AABB, so they are just buying it up, not letting it really drop in the morning, which is fine for me because then when it actually does drop, it'll be a very nice drop and hopefully a very nice bounce. Now it's in the 43s. Again, didn't buy it just because it wasn't down that much. It wasn't like a clean looking chart either. There were some other stocks that did number 5 setups. Some were better than others. I think one of them, at least the one that's right off the top of my mind, was if I remember the exact, it was like that M stock. Let me see if I can find it. Right, it was MDMP. This one in theory did one. I just wasn't able to see it when it was dropping. It was kind of fast. It was nice though, 36 to 42, so that's pretty nice. I'm gonna call things off. Just a good trading day. A lot of things learned. If I trade right a larger position size, I have to expect a partial fill. Well, not as in like it's going to happen, but it's probably very likely going to happen, and it's only going to happen more if I trade larger. So if I find out that I get a partial position, I just need to find out what that position is and trade with that. That's all I can do. You know, it's not going to be a perfect position fill. Maybe it will, but I have to expect that it won't. It's not going to be, you know, like what it was before, trading very small position sizes. I mean, $1,300 is still a small position size, but it's much larger than, you know, $500. So that's something I'm going to have to take into consideration. It's going to be partial positions, more likely. I just have to find out what that is and not let that throw me off from the overall pattern. Although I don't regret selling too much, again, because the big bidders were gone at that time and the people were selling their shares on the bid, and I didn't want to sell for a loss. And even though that kept me from this gain right here, it did keep me from losing. So I'll just keep trading again based off of cutting losses quickly, not because of risking, you know, not because I'm risking off a certain level. I don't like trading like that, because when I do that, more often than not, it breaks that level. So that's where I'm at right now. Gonna call things off. A pretty good trading day. Learned a lot about position sizing. And yeah, a little unfortunate that, you know, when I happened to be there, the big bidders were gone, but there's nothing wrong with that. That happens to everyone, I think.